Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Why would you watch this video? Well, if you are starting a new business, or if you are expanding into a new market, or you are creating a new product or service that is very different to what you're currently offering, then this video is definitely for you. Many years ago, when I started Fail Coach, I was a little bit cocky and I thought, I can skip a few steps. And so when I started Fail Coach, I decided that I want to do this thing on the US and Canadian market. But I had no leverages on that market. I wasn't familiar with that market. But in my mind, it was entrepreneurs are entrepreneurs and they're dealing with same stuff in Europe and same stuff in America. The market is better because they're more used to coaches, consultants, and they can definitely pay more. So why do the whole thing in Europe? Why not just go to the US market straight away? And I didn't do any product market fit. I didn't do any of that basic fundamental stuff. I just went to a marketing agency in Europe that never did any marketing campaigns for the US market. I gave them a shitload of information. We created a funnel, a campaign. I can't even remember what was that initial product for entrepreneurs. It was something about habit building for entrepreneurs, something like that. And the idea of that marketing campaign was to get people to sign up for my free webinar, and then we would upsell them into other things. Now, the whole creation of the funnel took us, and the marketing took us about 4 to 5 months, something like that. So, the initial questions answering to the marketing agency, then they would build out the whole thing, all the emails and everything, setting everything up. And then we had the campaign running for a few months, for I think 2 months. And then the actual webinar would happen, and it would actually be a live webinar. So me giving that webinar live, not pre-recorded session or something like that. Now, what happened was that we spent all together with the marketing agency setup, ad spend, all of that, around $15,000 US. So yes, you heard it right, $15,000. We got 2 signups for a free webinar, 2 signups, and 1 person showed up for the free webinar, and a few people who were on my team who were there to support me through that. I did the webinar. Of course, that 1 person didn't convert into anything, but it shows you how important it is not to skip those first things, those first steps. And so what I did afterwards was, okay, I need a break from this. I need to rethink. I need to really dive deep and figure out what I did wrong there. And as I was thinking, I was like, okay, I didn't dive into the ideal client avatar. What are they lacking? What can we offer them? At what price? What's the unique value proposition? And so on. I didn't do any of that. And so what I started doing after that failed attempt was just connecting with as many American entrepreneurs as I could. I went to LinkedIn groups, Facebook groups, Instagram. Yeah, that was all the networks. I think I was able to find some online meetups that were happening back then. It wasn't as it is today. Today you can find online meetups everywhere and stuff like that. So this part is much easier to do today than it was many years ago, but I still did it. And in the next roughly year, I had over 500 conversations with fellow entrepreneurs from United States and Canada. Now what happened was, because I wasn't sure who to really target, I didn't narrow it down before I started doing those conversations. So I was jumping on calls left and right. Female entrepreneurs, male entrepreneurs, younger, middle-aged, older entrepreneurs, entrepreneurs who are just thinking about starting their journey, entrepreneurs who are in their business in the first year, startups, online, offline businesses, businesses that have been around for a while, six-figure, seven-figure, eight-figure businesses, and so on. So I really made a huge mix of everything. And the way those conversations would go is I would ask a lot of questions and shut up and listen and let them talk. And as I was going through those conversations, week after week after week, things started to become clearer. Patterns started emerging. I started listening to similar stories, similar struggles, similar desires, and I started filtering out what would be the ideal stuff for me to actually offer on that market, at what price I could price it, what are some unique value propositions that I can bring to the table, and so on. And then after that, well, along that journey, I also learned where they go to find information, how do they find it, what's the start of the journey, are they aware that they need some help, or how do they become aware that they need some help, and so on. So I learned all of those things, which then helped me to create a marketing or a know, like, trust journey, and then start executing upon that journey. So do things for the know part, get them into an ecosystem. Then in that ecosystem, I can start building like, and then turn it into trust. And then that was the point where they become eager to buy. And it took me something between 15 to 18 months to get my first sale to a gentleman from US, but the journey gave me so much. And the second thing is I continued this journey. I never stopped connecting and reconnecting with people from those markets, because over the last few years things have changed. When I first started, people were going to Quora to get more information. Later it was Reddit. Later it was Facebook groups. Later it was more on LinkedIn, and so on. So things change, social media landscape changes, patterns, behaviors change. People who were considered young entrepreneurs when I started doing this are now considered seasoned entrepreneurs. And so things have changed. They have different habits, different patterns, how they do things. So it's very important for me to continuously stay in the loop of what's happening. So what I regularly do now is join at least one online meetup every 2 weeks. Hopefully I try to do it once a week, but I'm not always successful. Through podcasts, I get to have a conversation with entrepreneurs who then reach out to me through our social media activity. We get to talk to our community, to get to talk to entrepreneurs. I jump on many calls every week. Well, not so many calls, but I try to do as many as possible. I go on lunches with fellow entrepreneurs, I go to conferences, so I always try to be in that firehouse place. And if you watched some of my videos, you know that I talk a lot about firehouse, and this activity is definitely one of the most important firehouse activities in our business, because it helps me to stay in touch with the people that we want to serve and to help, and to figure out what's the best way for us to reach them, how to talk to them, what are the things that they need to develop like and to develop trust, and then how to make it as easy as possible for them to become our clients, and then how to work with them, how to get recommendations, and so on. So there's a multiple things involved here when you're talking to your potential clients, your clients, and just, for us entrepreneurs in general, to get the feel for what's happening out there. But yeah, I had to throw out $15,000 to learn the lesson and to not be cocky. It was a very humbling experience because I don't know what was I thinking. I was like, I don't know. Oh, just because I call myself fail coach, people will just start rushing towards us. No, that's not what happens, and it didn't happen for me. And we see this very often with our clients when they are expanding into a new market, where the culture might be different, when the some other things might be different regulations or different habits or different mindsets of people and so on, or when they are creating a completely different product or service that caters to a different market. It's not enough to just take what you know from what you're doing with existing audience, because you're serving a different audience. You need to go out there, you need to talk to them, you need to gather a shitload of information that will then help you make better decision how to set up your journeys, funnels, whatever you like to call that, so that you can get in front of them so that they see that you exist, and then create an ecosystem where you can interact with them, whether that's email marketing or a LinkedIn, Facebook group, or your own meetup, or your presence at conferences, your presence at different industry events, and so on. There's a shitload of things that you can do for your ecosystem, but you need an ecosystem so that you can communicate with them on a fairly consistent basis, so that when they see you, eventually they either unfollow you or get out of the ecosystem if they don't like you, or they develop a certain level of like, and then little by little that like grows into trust, and then when you have trust, that's when they're usually ready to buy. Now, the amount of trust that they need will vary from industry to industry, from business to business. Like, to give you an example, if I'm dealing with some very important thing and I need help from a lawyer, if it's a very important thing, I will make sure that I do my due diligence, and I will need a very high level of trust before I choose a lawyer that will help me, I don't know, draft a contract or something like that. But if I just need an app for something, and I go to the app store and I see that there's an app for $1 or $2 or $3, I don't need much trust. I'll just click buy, I'll try it out. If it works, cool. If it doesn't, well, fuck it. So you have to be aware how much trust people need before they are willing and ready to buy from you. And as I was talking to entrepreneurs, I saw that to do what we do and the way we do it, you need to develop quite high level of trust before they are willing to jump onto a sales call and then become your clients. And so those were all the lessons that I got from my activity in reaching out and connecting with fellow entrepreneurs. It helped me build out the whole product market fit, and then the whole client journey, buyer journey, marketing journey, whatever you want to call it. And I continuously do this to this day, and I will continue to do this, because if you're not in touch with them, things change. Things outside of your control change. New social media platforms are born. People migrate from one to another. People get older, and people who weren't our ideal client avatar 10 years ago might be very much our ideal client avatar today, and they might have different habits than people who were 10 years older 10 years ago. And you need to take all of those things into account. Otherwise, you may suddenly find yourself that your marketing efforts are no longer producing results, and you don't want that. So continuous also monitoring of your marketing activities, watching at KPIs, making sure that you have some benchmarks in place from previous years, so that you can see, so that you can spot when something is changing, and you see something dropping over some period of time, and that can then alert you that you need to change something, that you need to tweak something. So if you are not keeping track of any KPIs, of any measures, suddenly you can just find yourself, oh shit, we don't have any clients anymore. What happened? But if you have some KPIs in place, if you monitor things a little bit, then you will start noticing certain trends, and then that will enable you to react faster, make some tweaks, make some changes, maybe find somebody out there who can help you setting up something new in your marketing, and so that you can find better way to do your marketing, to find your ideal clients, and then to serve them with your products or your services. So I think for this one, that should be enough. Do let me know in the comments if you have any follow-up questions, if you want me to go deeper into this topic. I try to keep this stuff fairly high level so that it can be applicable to many of you, to start your thinking. And then you can go into your firehouse and through this lens start thinking about what your marketing efforts are, how well you know your ideal client avatar, and so on, and then start making some tweaks in your process to connect more often with them, to reconnect more often with them. And it's important to make a balance between clients, potential clients, and just your industry that you're serving as a whole, even if they don't become your clients, because you can also learn a lot about the industry that you're serving. Yeah, I think that's it for this video. See you in the next one. Take care. Bye.